What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got some awesome news for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we're starting off with the big sales numbers from Nintendo. The NPD, the Nintendo Switch, and Animal Crossing New Horizons is absolutely killing it. There are record-breaking numbers across the board here. So here are the Cliff Notes versions of it, and then I'm gonna get into why the Nintendo Switch is honestly a system that kind of transcends what we see at this point. There's not going to be anything, in my opinion, that can stop it from what it's doing, even when the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X launch. So according to the NPD, Animal Crossing New Horizons launch numbers surpass any Mario or Zelda title here in the US. Now, for those who don't know, the US is just that. So we're not talking about Canada and all of that. Yes, we're talking about North America, that includes the US, but we're not talking about all of North America or South America, just the United States of America. And it's not digital sales, it's just physical sales added into there. So it's pretty much beat any Mario or Zelda title in the US. Now, it's also the third best-selling Nintendo game ever, right behind Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and we're going to talk about that a bit more. And it's currently the second best-selling title of the year in the US behind Modern Warfare, and that's on like what, 4 different platforms, or no, 3: PS4, Xbox One, and also PC. Now, we also have some more information here on the Nintendo Switch sales front. The Nintendo Switch doubled year over year in March, which is just absolutely insane. Sometimes you see 10%, 20%, heck, even if you're lucky, 30 or 40%, but doubling on there, absolutely insane. This actually set a brand new all-time record for hardware sales in March, topping what they did in March 2017. Oh, that was the launch month, and the launch month was at the beginning of the month, so it wasn't like it was disproportionate or anything like that. It was March 3rd. That is just crazy to see in its third year, going down into the fourth year here. Insane numbers. So that means the Nintendo Switch is right around, for the month of March, it sold about 1 million systems in the US alone. We're not talking about Europe and other places, in Canada and South America and like Australia. We're talking just in the US, 1 million systems. Yeah, record breaker on that one. That is the highest first quarter for hardware unit sales since the DS in the first quarter of 2010. So we're going on a decade on that. This is the reason why I said the Nintendo Switch transcends what we've seen before. You can't sit here and tell me, with the amount of games that don't come to the Nintendo Switch and what they've got on the system, which is still very good, that this system isn't some type of different beast altogether. And that's the reason why I think later in the year people have talked about, oh, well, things are going to slow down, Nintendo's not going to have enough. That's not the point. They've put out so much content on this system, people can't even keep up with it. There's not even enough money for people to buy everything that's out, from like Astral Chain and Super Mario Maker and New Super Mario Bros. And Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda. People have so many games to buy. Even if you're talking about what's coming out at this point, there could be a slower pace of games. It doesn't matter. People are still going to rush out there and buy the system. And once again, we're seeing with this whole pandemic, and people are saying, oh, well, people are buying it because of that. It doesn't matter what they're buying it for. All that matters is that they're buying it. And people don't forget pandemics like this, especially with what's going on. People are going to panic buy pandemic Nintendo Switches, not only this year, but next year and the year after. And as long as Nintendo supports this system with games, you're going to see more people buying it, because they're going to remember the pandemic and say, oh snap, we got to make sure that we can be able to play anywhere. Parents are going to be home more, they're going to be using the TV, whatever the case is. We got to have these Switches around with games like Animal Crossing and Mario Kart and Zelda and Super Smash Bros. And all these games that are great for the family and also great for single player play as well. So once again, this is something like we haven't seen before, obviously since what, 2010, with the DS highest first quarter sales over 1 million. It does seem like here, based off of what we know from year on year, and also based off of what happened with March 2017. Man, this is just nuts to see. Animal Crossing is a very interesting case as well, because Animal Crossing is a game that we haven't been able to go to the stores and pick up. There's been some price gouging on physical copies because of everything that's going on with the pandemic right now. But the nuts thing about it is that it's still number one on the boards. It was still number one on the boards, and it's number one digitally pretty much in every single marketplace in terms of areas, right? So here in the US eShop, number one. Japan, number one. Europe, number one. Pretty much everywhere it's number one. And also, guess what? Amazon.com, which is selling all sorts of digital codes and passes right now because people can't go out into stores and physical shipping is taking way longer. Even with Prime, people are buying that digitally because people can't buy it physically. People are also price gouging as well with physical copies of games. It's just nuts. Digitally, number one on Amazon when it comes to gaming on there. Fantastic sales for Animal Crossing. The sales of the game, in my opinion, if we didn't have this pandemic, it would have been the best selling Nintendo game ever in the US MPD if we didn't have this going on and more people could actually go out to the stores and pick it up. But it's not like Nintendo lost out on a sale on that. People just who didn't get the game physically just went and bought it digitally. Obviously with this, because it was still all the physical copies gone in terms of how good the sales were, in addition to the digital sales just being off the chart. I think Nintendo's going to report the highest digital sell-through ratio with Animal Crossing New Horizons that a Switch game has ever had. So crazy to see all this. What do you guys think about it? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, now moving on to the next topic here. It almost feels like I'm in the deja vu blender. We just literally just talked about this and it was said that this was fake, but now another listing for Metroid Prime Trilogy has went up on another site. This one is called Instant Gaming. I got this off of Go Nintendo. I checked out the listing myself. As of the time that I'm recording this video, this listing for Metroid Prime Trilogy is still up on this site, Instant Gaming. It says that this is from Nintendo and that it's Metroid Prime Trilogy Switch and the release date is 2020. I'm not saying that this is happening for sure this year. I'm not saying that this listing is even correct. What I'm saying is that there is another listing, but this time this listing wasn't pulled by the time that I did my video. Now, for those who checked out my last video and are like, wait a minute, I got baited by you. You know, you said one thing, you said this was something. No, I'm just reporting on what is the news out there, and I'm terribly sorry to anybody who saw that in terms of the last video and saw that there was a listing and it ended up being fake in terms of that one. But this one right here, I'm telling you, is another listing that is up. You guys are actually seeing it right here on Instant Gaming. Is this going to be 100% facts or going to be something that's going to happen for sure? No, because it's just a listing. It's not a ESRB rating or anything like that. It's not Nintendo coming out and saying that this is what's happening officially. All I'm saying is that there is actually listings, and this one on Instant Gaming is something that is here. Now, we still need to wait and see and wait for the official word. I still feel that even despite the last article or the last video that I did where that listing was pulled and it ended up being fake, I still feel that Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Switch is real. Everything that I said in terms of my feelings on this game or games that are coming to Nintendo Switch, I still feel that is the case. I still feel that Metroid Prime 4, if that game wasn't delayed, and if we still got it in the same time frame in terms of when Nintendo wanted to get it done, we would have had Metroid Prime Trilogy HD on the Nintendo Switch. I think that would be a thing. But the fact that the game, in terms of Metroid Prime 4, was scrapped with its development and rebooted with Retro Studios at the helm instead of Bandai Namco, that's the reason why they've waited on Metroid Prime Trilogy HD for the Nintendo Switch. I don't think Nintendo would leave 3 games in terms of in the Prime Trilogy series, 3 games, and not have a way for people to play them, especially when the game was on the Wii U. It's already ported over, right? All they have to do is just simply brush it up a bit, make it a bit better from what I'm thinking that they're going to do. Now, of course, they could do even a bit more and work on it more, but I think that it's just going to be a really nice looking, version of the game that we had on the Wii U. Of course, reworked to work on the Nintendo Switch properly in portable mode and also on the TV, because the game already looks amazing. It just goes to show you how well the design is from the GameCube games and from what they did on the Wii. So I personally think that Metroid Prime Trilogy is still happening. Now, with these listings, you can never know with them. But once again, it was listed and there will be links to this description below. But what are you guys' thoughts on Metroid Prime Trilogy and this new listing here Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, we have some new Xbox Series X / next gen news. So initially, we're going to first talk about this rumor that is going down with a Microsoft Xbox next gen showcase happening in May. Now, here are the different bullet points from this. We get a possible Lockhart reveal. This is the low-priced entry-level next-generation system from Microsoft. It's like an Xbox One, like a new generation Xbox, but it's not going to have the power and the features of a Series X. Now, the Lockhart is heavily rumored to be a 4 teraflop powered system and will have limited next-gen features. Now, information on the upcoming games could be at this showcase as well, possibly Halo Infinite, and even the rumored Fable reboot from Playground Games, the same people who do the Forza games. So this is very interesting to hear all this information here, and I think a lot of you guys are probably going to be very interested in this Lockhart system because it's rumored that this system is going to be around $299, but of course at 4 teraflops, if that's what it ends up to be, it's not going to be the beast that the Xbox Series X is at the 12 teraflops that that system does. So obviously it's not going to be able to do some things that you would see on that system, and overall, I guess with just raw computing power, that would be lower than what the Xbox One X is at its 6 teraflops. But of course, you could never put it one-to-one because of the newer architecture and what they're doing. It'll probably be more capable than what an Xbox One X can do, if that makes sense. So very interesting when it comes to all of the rumored stuff here, guys. But before I get into my thoughts just a bit on that, I do want to discuss the Xbox Series X logo. This was actually trademarked by Microsoft, and it actually looks pretty cool here. I was checking out the logo myself. It has the series right there vertically and the big X right there. I like the look of it, like the split bars on the X. I think it looks really solid, and I think that Microsoft is going to have a good launch campaign, and I think that they have things set and ready to go. I like the look of the system. It's kind of grown on me just a bit. I like this trademark right here with the Series X. I think they're going to have a solid plan, especially if this Lockhart system works out and is still a very good system at a good price. And I'm also hearing rumors with that Lockhart system that it's going to be digital only, which I hope that's not the case. But there are rumors floating around that it will be a digital only type of system, so it won't actually have a disk drive at all. So that might play a factor into things. But let's talk about this. I do think, in my opinion, Microsoft can make a big comeback, especially if they show off a Fable reboot, and if they can bring that series back to its former glory along with a Halo Infinite. I think that's a huge win for Microsoft. Microsoft has done a really good job with their marketing and their public relations when it comes to the Xbox Series X. We've seen announced games. Obviously, they've shown us the console, they've shown us the controller. They kind of have a vision for us. They've talked about backwards compatibility, which was great. They have the smart delivery. They have great features with the system. The only problem is that it's going to be expensive overall. Even if they have the Lockhart, that's the cheaper one. But the main system is going to be expensive. So that's going to be their issue that they're going to run into, and probably some manufacturing problems too with this whole CV pandemic that's going on. But once they get rolling, and if they can actually deliver on some of their big games, I think that Microsoft is going to have a winner on their hands with this. So what do you guys think about all the different topics that we discussed? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the link in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all latest gaming news and information. Also make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.